Really, this is Scott France,
Exactly,
deep sea biologist at the University of Louisiana at Lafayette, and
So
happy to be with you today.
We're happy to have you, Scott. Thanks.
How fast do you want to go, pilots?
Hi, this is Jeff Drazen. I'm a professor in the Oceanography Department at the University of Hawaii, and working on hadal biology, and I'm really excited for this dive.
And Jeff is the one who proposed this particular dive.
I was the biology lead on Leg 1, and I'm a postdoctoral fellow at the University of Hawaii, where I do deep sea biology research.
Hi, this is Debbie Blaney. I'm the web coordinator for this leg of the mission.
And this is Bruce Mundy. I'm with the NOAA Pacific Islands Fisheries Science Center, and I've been participating to identify fish. But at these depths, I think Jeff Drazen will do a much better job than I will.
Far up at the moment.
Any others on the phone line?
Tara Harper-Luke from Stockton University in New Jersey.
Hi, Tara. Anyone else? So,
hi, this is Hong Song, a visiting scholar to the Ellis Fryer at the University of Hawaii. I work with a dating of chimney carbonate from serpentine mud volcanoes. Hi, this is Erin Easton. I'm visiting from the Ecology and Sustainable Management of Oceanic Islands in Chile, and I'm visiting the University of Hawaii, and I work on deep sea biology. Hi, this is Astrid Leitner, also from the University of Hawaii. I'm working with Jeff Drazen, and I primarily am interested in deep sea fish.
Hi, this is Chris Kelly, also University of Hawaii. I'm serving as a science lead for the Capstone 3-year effort here in the Pacific, advising on the planning and operations and post-dive analysis.
Chris, can you tell us what Capstone stands for, please?
Can I go? Hi, this is Stephanie Farrington from Harbor Branch Oceanographic. I'm visiting University of Hawaii, Manoa. Hi, Shirley.
Hi, Steph. And Stephanie was actually a biology science lead a couple of years ago on an Okeanos Explorer mission in the Gulf of Mexico. Thrilled that you can make it to the University of Hawaii Exploration Command Center today.
And also Bill Clancy. I'm a cognitive scientist working with Shirley and Debbie Glickson at Harbor Branch. And this week I'm visiting here at the University of Hawaii with Chris and others in the ECC. We're doing a study of interactions among scientists using the different media we have available to us.
So that's actually a very nice segue into kind of an explanation of this type of mission. So many of us are used to going on a ship. Oh, there's the bottom. I see the bottom. We're used to going out to sea with a whole team of scientists, and basically what happens at sea stays at sea until we get back. This mission is, this telepresence-enabled ocean exploration allows us to have many more participants in real time in disciplines that are outside of our area of expertise. And so we can draw upon the expertise of scientists all over the world. In fact, we have participants from Russia, from Japan, from Guam actually as well. I'm sure I'm missing somebody, but all over the United States and basically around the world. And so, you know, it's kind of unique because we are working together as a team. The shore-based team and the ship-based team, along with our ROV crew, are all working together in a integrated way. And right now, I think, Patty, would you like to give us just a quick intro to the trench?
Oh, I would be delighted. The trench is forming, of course, as the Pacific Plate moves westward and dives beneath the Mariana Island arc and the bit of the oceanic crust between the arc and the axis of the trench. That distance is about 200 kilometers. What we're seeing usually at depths like this, when we get close to the bottom, as we are right now, there may be exposures of the Earth's mantle. The Earth's mantle makes up the largest proportion of the planet that we're sitting on. The rocks that we are looking at right here, I would be guessing are part of that mantle, and they're composed of a mixture of two minerals. Primarily, those minerals are olivine, and the gemstone peridot is what people may be familiar.
That's my mom's birthstone.
It is. Wow. Hey, you got a great mom. Good genes.
Yes, I do.
Definitely good genes here, kid. And another mineral called pyroxene, which most people aren't too familiar with. But these two minerals have a high content of iron and magnesium and silicon. And what we're hoping to see as we get a little closer, what I'm seeing on the right side of the screen, those white areas look like possibly altered mantle rock. Mantle rock does this great thing when it alters, when it combines with water, and that is that it turns into a completely different mineral. The mineral it turns into is called serpentine, and it's green, kind of like the olivine. The reason it's called serpentine is because when the Greeks first identified it, it looked like a serpent to them. And frequently what we find associated with exposures of serpentine on the seafloor is a seep.
Yeah, I think we probably want to go in
fluids.
closer now and take a look at some of those white things that were over on the right.
Yeah, unfortunately that's below 6,000 meters.
Oh, too bad. We'll find more.
I was afraid you were going to say that.
We'll
That's all right.
find
We'll
more.
just
We'll find some more.
Okay, let us know when you're ready to move in closer and start our transect.
Yep, so we're heading forward right now. Just to give you an overview, we're heading towards the waypoint, and we're just staying off the bottom until we can get within our operational depth. So as we go forward, it'll get shallower and the terrain will get closer.
Roger that.
So what we're looking at is a sediment-covered slope that has a whole bunch of exposed rocks on it. It's kind of difficult to tell whether these rocks are actually part of what you'd think of as, like a road cut. It may be that they tumbled down from higher up the slope, but what is really exciting to me is that there are, that is definitely, that's sediment.
Yeah.
That's sediment ripples on the seafloor.
Oh, how cool is that?
And the white stuff you see there is likely... I'm not sure. It could be just lighter colored sediment, or maybe it could be a little bit of a spread of that altered mantle rock material. But we'll wait a bit and see if we can find any samples that look like they might have interacted with the fluids. If they do, sometimes microbial communities can grow on them. And Jeff Drazen, one of our shore-based scientists, and I were out on the Falcor Schmidt Ocean Institution vehicle in 2014, and like I said earlier, with a lander that was designed by Kevin Hardy, we were able to see some rocks that had filaments of microbes, sort of making the rock look like it had a beard.
I don't know where is it just all the way up?
Yeah, just all the way up. Hey, we can come out, Tara.
Okay, so for those of you watching the video, our ROV, the Deep Discoverer, or D2, is heading now towards the area that we wanted to start our dive. They can't go down any deeper because we're already at our maximum depth, which is 6,000 meters, so they're just motoring in, thrusting in, so we can get closer to the bottom and get a up-close and personal look at the sediments and the rocks, and hopefully some biology as well.
We'll put the lower swing arms out.
Yeah, we can do that in, if you want to take the pilot cam here. We can use this to look at the swing arms.
Oh, the lower ones.
Yeah, the lower ones. And
okay.
you can just slightly deploy.
Lower swing arm, deploy.
So you need to enable your belt tack. Yeah. And just block it up just to, and that's port, correct?
That's port.
Yep. And just deploy. And just, nice and easy. Oh.
That wasn't nice and easy, was it?
Yep.
Okay.
So bring it up about half. You can see it in the port rail cam too. So bring it up about another 30 degrees. A little more. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then we can do this starboard side. This one do nice and slow. This is the one we worked on last night. So just lock it nice and easy. Okay. Keep going. Okay. You can keep going a little more. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay, and the tilt angle is good?
Yeah, I wouldn't. So there's no tilt on that. It only swings.
Oh, right,
inboard.
right.
Yep.
We have a question here at the IRC for Jeff Drazen, if he's online. What are the types of life that you are expecting to see at this step?
Hi, Bruce. Well, at these depths, it's a zone of faunal transition, and so we might expect to see a variety of deeper living elpidid holothurians that would be more trench-associated, mixed in with other things. Some in the Serena Canyon dive, we saw large purple holothurians, which we thought might have been Galathea so some mixes of organisms there. In terms of the fishes, I'm not entirely sure. The Hadal endemic fish is a snailfish, and we might be just a little bit too shallow for it. But those are a new species, and a student working in my lab, Mackenzie Geringer, and a student at University of Aberdeen, Tom Lindley, are working with another taxonomic expert to describe the specimens we captured on our last cruise to the Mariana Trench that Patty was on as well. Other fishes at these depths could include rat tails, Orphanoides zucchinae, and also cusk eels, which were quite common when we were doing dated camera deployments. Basocetus and Barythrides were the two that we saw pretty commonly. I hope that gives you at least a little bit of insight. As far as some of the other sessile invertebrates, I'm just not sure. I'll let others chime in on that.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. What about arthropods, crustaceans? Do you expect to see any of those at this step?
There's a host of different amphipod species, but many of those reside in the sediments when they're not out actively foraging, and I don't know whether we will see those or not. There are a couple of different shrimps. There is one in particular that we saw In pretty fair abundances, it's Plesiopenaeus armatus. I believe it's actually been recently renamed, but that's the name many of us know it by. It's bright red, and it gets up to a size of, a little over 15 centimeters, actually. It's got a big bright red rostrum. And there are probably at this depth going to also be some munid crabs, Munidopsis or perhaps other genera.
All right, come on in.
Actually, pilot, yep, you're on it.
Well, thank you, Jeff. That was informative.
So, pilots, I think this move should get us to where you get bottom.
Oh, my God.
Do you want me to call another shorter one, or let it settle out here and then move on? Or
I would guess we can't really afford to let things settle out.
Hey guys, it's Diva. So if you recall on leg 1, we actually did one dive down into the trench, and we were about a kilometer shallower than what we are now. But just to recap some things we saw on that dive, just as Jeff said, we saw quite a couple of holosaurians, a couple of crinoids. We also saw lots of Lucicorus fish, and some Unidopsis squat lobsters, some benthic ctenophores, which are always really exciting, and a couple of sponges and swimming polychaetes. And if you do recall on that dive, that's where we found that absolutely beautiful categorizing sponge, which is probably a new species and looks like a fence and had several ophiuroids living on it. And we did actually collect it. So it was all in all a really exciting dive, and hopefully today will be no different.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Hey, Tara, we can come out on this. Push ahead, see if we can get closer.
Yeah, that would be great if we could get closer.
So I'd say do a 100-meter move at a tenth of a knot.
Or
right to the waypoint, for that matter.
Yeah, that's my plan. Probably 180 meters, 180 degrees.
Come back in.
Tenth of a knot. All right.
That can't be 180. It must be 190 or.
You're
trying to put the vehicle there. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you guys are going to be here.
Yeah, I was thinking of the ship. I was thinking of the ship. That's good.
Yeah, I'll do 180. I'll get us a little bit uphill of waypoint 1, if that's all right.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
I have a bit more zoom.
Yeah, go ahead.
Bridge, ROV nav. Ready for another ship move. I think you're almost to your position here. Oh no, yeah, you are.
Piece of bread.
It's something white encrusting on that rock.
All right. 180 meters, 180 degrees, decimal 1 knots.
We may see more of it throughout the dive.
Yeah, video. Are you able to zoom in any more on that?
Oh, that's full zoom.
It's as close as I can get. Watch lead.
Okay.
Okay, coming away.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, okay, so
do you think that guy's alive, Shirley, at that depth?
Yeah, well, yeah. And I don't know. To me, it looks like it was some thinly encrusting sponge on rock, but it's not going to be. The rock's not going to be white.
Pilot,
like
can we take a look at that white material around that rock?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because that was like the other one that was covering the other rock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Which is very odd.
Come on in, video.
Everybody come down and give you a little more heading.
Yeah.
Could that just be scoured rock?
It could be.
As we get a little bit closer, I'm thinking more bacterial.
To tell you the truth, I'm stumped. I love this. I love going down here and finding stuff. Goodness gracious, I don't know what these guys are.
So Diva's thinking it's not biological, but I'm wondering if it's just something bacterial.
I think
range in your sonar if you want.
Diva's right that the general patch itself is not biological, but it has some structure just above and to the right of the lasers that looks like it could be carbonate, like maybe chimneys. This is the color of serpentine mud that we see erupting from the light color is a pale, very pale blue-green or greenish blue, and sometimes small seeps will bring this material up. I wouldn't be at all surprised if there were seeps down here that actually are exuding some of this mud.
I think so too, but I just don't want to be the one to do it and have something happen. Even though it would probably be unrelated.
C2D says we're at 59.
Okay, Pilot, if you could just go up back to the white area above this pile of rock, and perhaps if video could zoom on that material that is just to the left of the screen. It looks
we're going down
just
a little closer to get
right there, right there.
It's going to get a little closer for you.
Roger. Thank you, Pat.
Oh, thank you. If you could get a closer view, that would be great.
See the cheat sheet of
Okay, that looks wonderful. Thank you very much.
We're all the way zoomed in.
The reason I'm particularly interested in this, you folks at home, is because what we're going to be seeing probably later in the cruise is a series of mud volcanoes. And these are huge edifices that are erupting, not lava, but very cold, soft serpentine mud, has a consistency of cream cheese and burps out on the seafloor to make essentially mountains on the seafloor that can be 50 kilometers in diameter and a couple kilometers high. These are the biggest mud volcanoes on the planet Earth.
Yeah, I think that's about all we can do.
Okay, that looks really good. Thank you very much. We can probably move on.
Yep.
All right, come on up, video.
All right.
That's an overview of what the structure looks like.
Oh, the overview looks great.
Really
yeah, okay, now I am.
Ripples in that sediment.
I'm completely convinced that this is an exposure of mantle rock that has been fully serpentinized. It's either a small eruptive site where soft, ground-up serpentine that formed along a fault below the seafloor surface and then was mobilized by fluids moving through the rock from beneath.
Do a quick zoom on this white guy.
Sure.
That looks like a little piece of rock.
Yeah.
It is serpentinized. Beautiful ripple marks on the seafloor. These are caused by currents.
And Patty, how do most people know serpentinites or serpentine?
You mean, Patty, what is serpentine?
Okay, what is serpentine? Give me your 10-second serpentine identification.
10-second serpentine identification is, this is asbestos.
Asbestos.
Yeah. Asbestos that's used as a, used to be used for curtains in theaters and things, you know, because it is resistant to catching fire.
Well, so that's not so far-fetched, because imagine how this formed at such high temperatures.
That's quite true. That is very true. The serpentine that people are really scared of because it's carcinogenic, is actually not this mineral, but a mineral called amphibole. The difference is that this stuff forms as plates, kind of like mica or clays. And actually, if you were to breathe this particular type of serpentine in, it wouldn't affect your lungs at all. But there is one type of serpentine. It comes in a whole bunch of different structures, and one of them is like little tubes, and that could possibly be irritating to lung tissue. The type of asbestos that's used in curtains that people use on stages, or even in insulation sometimes in older buildings, that has a little bit of this other mineral, the amphibole mineral, and that mineral is really spiky, so it has very sharp ends to the crystals that can penetrate lung tissue, and that definitely is a tremendously dangerous carcinogen.
So we're moving along the bottom here. For those of you who have just joined us, we are in the Mariana Trench, and we are
599...
5,000. 995 meters. So almost 6,000 meters, which is the depth limit for operations of our ROV, the Deep Discover, or D2. And I'll tell you, when we were in our planning meeting yesterday, we were talking about what we might expect to find.
Those
what is all
brown
that?
patches
What
are
are those little brown patches?
They could be fecal pellets, or they could be.
Yeah, let's
they're
go on
definitely
in.
something created by biology.
So you're calling this hadal poo?
Yeah, hadal poo.
You know what? This kind of looks like, I don't know, Diva and Deb. Remember when you guys saw
those little
roly-poly things on your
Last
dive?
cruise, I was thinking of that too.
What is that?
It's submarine tumbleweed.
Say that again.
Last cruise we were seeing a lot of stuff that was very similar to this. I think it was lighter colored, but it was little balls.
Hey guys, so yes, this does look Diva, and this does look exactly like those weird spheres which we saw on Dive 4 and making the seamount on Leg 1. And I'm actually just writing a mission log about these. But we got in touch with lots of taxonomists of various descriptions after our expedition. And there were lots of postulations, such as, dead sponges, xenophyrophores, another type of foraminifera known as gromids, fecal pellets or feeding balls from crustacea. I mean, name it, and it was put out there. And I think we kind of concluded that, concluded being a loose term here, we basically were able to rule out some things, but then 2 months on, we still have no idea.
And do you recall? Did you touch them at all?
Before.
I think we did. And
we did, and they
light.
sort of, the ROV was able to pick them up. I mean, I think Josh, who is piloting right now, may have been the ROV pilot that did this for us, if I do remember correctly. But we were able to pick them up, and so they were more solid than we thought they were going to be, but then we were also able to crush them. And so they just appeared sort of, when we crushed them, they were just sort of sedimented, floppy stuff.
For those of you who can see those laser dots, sorry.
But we sort of ruled out gromids, and so maybe xenos, maybe dead sponges,
we want to zoom on that.
Yeah, we want to zoom on that big
pilot. If we can zoom on that big white
especially
thing.
at the base of it too, because this is. What do you? I don't know.
You know what I think that is?
What do you think that is?
I think that may be carbonate.
Really?
Authigenic carbonate.
Wow.
Yeah, that is not serpentine mud, which also is very light in color. Carbonates form where seep fluids are coming out of the seafloor, mixing with sea water and reacting to form carbonates. This is the deep. If that is indeed what it is, this is the deepest one I have ever seen. The Shinkai 6500, the Japanese submersible, dove in, I think it was 2009, on at about this depth, just to the east of the Challenger Deep, and found a seep that had things like this on it and also found a very active community of clams and snails and things. So I wouldn't be surprised if there may be something nearby that indicates there's a seat.
Our temperature at this depth, which right now is 5,997 meters, our temperature is 8.6, 8.7 degrees Celsius, so roughly 9 Celsius.
Yeah, I mean, you want to stay at least, 15, I would say, is the lowest you want to go.
Patty, is there, would it be worthwhile to try to collect one of these potentially carbonate rocks, or should we wait and see what else the dive presents?
Actually, they would be interesting. It looks to me, though, as if those particular ones had, because they're so rounded, the active ones are very irregular in shape as far as the ones we've ever seen before. I'm kind of interested in looking over to the left-hand side. Yeah, there's some more white and some more rock samples over there. If the pilot could move back to the right a bit.
To the starboard? Yep.
The right or the left? Okay.
Nope. Left.
The other right.
I'm sorry. The other right. And just to the left of, there we go. See, there's a whole bunch of this stuff up the slope. If we could mosey over there and take a look at that little patch of rocks that's in the center of the screen.
Absolutely.
And take a look at that white projection.
Stay on south?
I would stay on south. Let me know if I'm starting to get off the screen, and then I'll have you turn. But
yep.
So when we were having this planning call yesterday afternoon, planning for this dive, we talked about what we might expect to find, and we were thinking that we might find some typical soft sediment organisms like sea cucumbers or holothurians. So far we haven't seen anything like that. What's that on the lower left? Kind of cream-colored thing.
Yeah, if we could take a
yeah, you're heading right. Yeah, there you go.
Right by the lasers. For folks at home, that pair of lasers is about 10
centimeters apart.
Yeah, the two lasers are about 4 inches apart.
Uh-oh, you're losing your voice again.
That's because I'm so excited. That's cool.
So see that black patch in there, Patty? What do you suppose that is? What is that?
I think that's a rock enclosed in whatever the light stuff is.
This is really complex mineralogy here, all different kinds of minerals.
Yeah, I have never seen anything like this. This is wonderful.
Okay,
can we take, let's see, can we swing up a little bit to the right and see the lighter material?
Come out a little bit. Keep coming out.
Like
yeah. Look at that. It looks like snow, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so now you can see kind of the little wisps.
Okay, now there's some holes in that material. What do you think about that, Shirley?
I don't know. I'm almost thinking a rock sample that might have some of this white on it, because I don't know. I mean, the holes could just be from the rock itself, but...
Well, it could be, if this is chimney material, and that's what I'm starting to think it might be. Those could be the orifices through which the fluid moved that produced these guys.
If we see a loose...
It seems to me that this might be sufficiently interesting that we should try to sample some of it, yeah?
Yeah, I'm getting folks suggesting that we try to sample this.
So we need to find a loose rock that hasn't on it.
Yeah, I wonder though, it does break up pretty easily. Was that you, Jeff, suggesting sampling this? Thought I recognized your voice.
Yeah, it's just, I think that, some evidence of very deep seeping would kind of be interesting. I know it has been found at, a little bit shallower than this, but it would confirm at least what might be happening here. If we could collect some of this.
I absolutely agree. Pilot, there's the real interest in trying to get some of this white material.
Yeah, copy that.
And I think I saw over to the left, and I do really mean left this time. In the upper corner, there was more of that white material there. It's just coming into view.
Oh, yeah.
And this stuff is kind of crumbly. It might be possible to, stick the manipulator into it and just sort of squeeze. But anything along here that is that real white-looking stuff might be good.
To try to do it on this track of.
Yeah, is there a sea star there that we saw?
White stuff.
Did you see a sea star?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we went by a sea star. Unfortunately, all right, I have to push ahead. What's your camera angle, Jim?
Okay.
I'm almost vertical down.
Almost vertical. All right. So, from what you were saying, you'd like to get a piece of this white material.
That is true. Yes.
I see white stuff in Sirius.
Oh my gosh.
Right. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there's white stuff now. It is to the right.
Ship moving?
Yeah.
Gee, it's all over the place.
Let's stop the ship.
Okay.
And
it's going to take half an hour to.
Yeah, I know, but.
Okay.
Oh.
Bridge RV nav.
I don't know. Well, hold off on that.
Because it's only moving a tenth of a knot. I think you've probably got time to
ramp up
get a sample here.
Never mind. We'll get back to you.
Yep.
Sorry.
I think this stuff is loose enough here that we could grab one.
So I'm going to try to get you a sample here, Watchley.
So right up to 1900?
Thank you, pilot.
About 2/3 of the way up.
Okay. And do you need anything turned on, the valve packs?
You'll want to turn the valve packs on, and we're going to put it in a... Should this go in a bio box or a rock box, Watchley?
That's a good question.
You can put it in a rock box. That's fine. Well, what do you want? You want it in a bio?
I think we should put it in a bio,
just in case.
There's
there'll be room.
Possibility that there might be something on it.
Okay.
Right,
yep. So a bio box.
We'll put it in the port bio box, Jim. So if you want to get the pins ready for that, you need to stow the drawer, and you need to retract the pins, extend the pins, and then it should be ready.
Port bio box. Is that on the starboard valve pack?
Yep.
Starboard bio. Oh, so port bio. Retract. So retract the pin, right?
Yep, retract the pins.
Okay.
And then close the drawer.
Close the drawer. Okay.
And then extend the port pin.
Extend the port pin. Okay.
And now we're ready. So we're gonna hold off right there.
Yep.
Yeah, I presume that you're headed toward that white one in the middle of the field of view.
That's correct, Watchley.
That one is beautiful because I think I see a finger chimney on the very top of it. It's kind of been, looks like it's been knocked off, but I think Hong Kong, this is for you. Well, the collection is for anybody who wants it, but the collecting of it is for you, my dear. So, folks, as we get ready to pick up a sample, just give you a little idea of what happens to samples that we collect on these dives. Rock samples are taken to Oregon State University and are archived there. And any scientist who wants to make a request
pivot and keep you infused
for a bit of it or for the entire thing is welcome to do so.
And the biological samples are going to the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C., and we're also taking a small subsample, small piece of each biological sample, or most of the biological samples, and preserving them for molecular work. So basically, find out something about their DNA. Those are going to an organization called Ocean Genome Legacy, so another NOAA partner, and they're located at Northeastern University. And again, these are oh wow, look at that. We're all very excited here taking a quick look.
Oh man, this is so cool. Oh, goody, it's loose. Yippee.
So for those of you who are watching this collection, this is a real delicate operation.
Oh.
Wow, and it's a delicate sample, too.
Yeah, they are. They are quite friable.
Yeah.
That means they break up easily.
Yeah.
So we just get what we can?
Yeah, that just,
yes, pilot.
Even just the smallest piece will be fine. So as we do this dive, it's also a kind of a delicate maneuver because we have the ship on the surface, and then we have Sirius, whoa, and then D2. And so every time we stop, we have to, kind of notify the bridge, let the bridge know so that they know that they need to either slow down or stop. And then once we have to restart, it takes up some time. So that's why we're being real judicious about stopping and taking samples. I think you might actually have it then. Cool.
The pilot has tactile control with the manipulator arm, and it's so delicate that they can pick up an egg with this manipulator.
Okay, thank you so much. That is most awesome.
Pilot,
Thank you.
I have a box of chocolates for you.
No need. But thank you.
I'll take his.
Well, that's okay. More for me.
Okay, port inboard bio box.
Oh, that's great.
Wonderful.
So that's the port inner bio box.
Yep, got it. Thank you so much.
All right. So anything I should do with
so
just shut down the bell packs?
Yeah, I would retract that pin.
So
retract the pin.
Watch the pilot.
Turn off the bell packs. Yeah, go ahead, watch
Yeah, can we take a look right to just to the left of the lasers and down? Looks like there might be some kind of a line there. I don't know. Looks like a
I see what
video thought it might be a whip coral. I'm not quite sure.
Really?
I don't know. No, it's just okay.
Just line in the sand.
Okay. Thank you.
That must be the track of an animal. But look at all of these white things on the seafloor.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I barely.
That was really good.
I barely put pressure on that.
Yeah. Yeah, the pilot's saying that he barely put pressure on that and it just crumbled. So, really, really, as Patty said, friable or brittle. Okay, we're gradually moving up this slope. Still seeing a lot of ripples. Quite a few of these, like this rubble, some larger rocks with a white coating. We're at 5,988 meters. So our protocol for sampling is basically as a general rule, 2 geological samples, so 2 rocks and 2 biological samples. And part of the reason for that is it takes a long time to to collect, and we want to be sure we make it through our entire dive tract or entire transit. For those of you who were on earlier and saw the line that had been placed on the map, the bottom map, the topographic map, if you will, of this area, you'll see that it's just a small, just a little snapshot of the vast trench wall, and just really seeing just a small part of that. So we want to make sure that the area that we decided to explore, we can actually get from the bottom to the top of that transect line.
So if we,
anything, do you see anything, Shirley, in the seafloor that looks like it might be a dead clamshell?
Only halfway through that.
Because if this is a seep area, there would be, there may have been a community.
Yeah.
The seeps, obviously, in this area are going to be episodically active,
Yeah, we've got exactly 100 meters left in the booth. So we've got
okay, so we're looking at this, like kind of the shape of the ripples seems to be changing a little bit. Rock is still kind of patchy, but it's more closely spaced than it was when we first started our move up slope. Sorry.
That's a big piece of chimney with a little piece of chimney sitting on top of it. I'm just amazed by how much of it there is on this slope, and I'm wondering if this stuff has all rolled down the hill, because a lot of it looks kind of rounded, like it's taking a trip. So I'm so excited. When we get up to the top of this, we might find another lost city like at the Atlantic.
That'd be very cool.
It would be incredibly wonderful. Yeah, that's definitely carbonate material, and is all authigenic, just formed in place. Well, probably not this place, but wherever it came from.
Come and take. Right, coming out.
I don't see any shells around here, though.
No, but we're seeing, I think there might be some brittle stars or sea stars. Every now and then someone in one of our science team members on shore mentioned, actually a couple of them, some armed creatures. So when you think about that, you think of maybe brittle star or sea star. So we'll be on the lookout for that. We saw one earlier, I think a sea star earlier, as we passed over. But again, remember, every time we stop, the ship has to stop. Sirio stops, and to get back going again, it takes us a while.
So watch lead, what we're doing at this depth, because there's such a long delay between...
there's something armed on the left. Yeah.
We're just keeping the ship at a continuous move.
That sounds good.
Yep.
So to the left of that, let's say at about 8 o'clock position, it looked like there was something very light colored, certainly biological.
Down here?
Yeah.
All right, come on in.
Yep.
I think it's a rock.
No. There was something with arms. Okay.
Oh, really?
You can.
A little tiny holothurian?
Back out. No. It looked more like a kind of dermish.
Wet. I want an echinoderm. That would be so cool.
Guys, sort of reciting an old commercial, rocks without biology is sort of like Aunt Jemima pancakes without the syrup. Just is no good.
I'm not saying that.
I thought you were going to tell us rock, paper, scissors or whatever that game is called.
Anything video?
No.
I don't see anything there, Shirley. Do you?
No, I don't either, but I thought I saw something waving.
A waver. It's going, hey, pick me up.
There are definitely tracks.
Yeah, there are tracks. Okay, that's good.
Pushing on.
Someone was there.
Guys, I think if we want to maybe see something amazing, it'd probably be best to, keep moving and keep zoomed out.
That sounds good.
Thanks, Jeff. Yep.
Deb Glickson, back in Florida, reminds us that the Lost City was actually the first telepresence cruise that NOAA did. It was in 2005.
Oh.
So this
wow.
Yeah.
Sight?
And there we had no scientists on the ship. The scientists that were participating were all ashore.
Is that right?
Yep.
Oh.
I think we need to stay zoomed out for a little while until we see something of great interest.
But
there was something.
The whole idea of the experiment was that she had to stay ashore.
Wow, look at those ripples.
Beautiful ripple marks indeed.
So what do those ripple marks tell us about what's going on?
The ripple marks are telling us the direction of current in this particular region. And so it looks like the current is coming toward the remotely operated vehicle. But we're also seeing kind of undulations that go up and down the slope. And those are probably places where a mass of the sediment has moved down the slope, just in a particular line.
Patty, can you tell us something about Lost City?
I can tell you about Lost City. Lost City is a place on the the Atlantic Ridge, and it is just to the west of the Azores. I was fortunate enough to be able to go out on a drilling cruise with the Ocean Drilling Program, Expedition 305. 304 and 305, actually. 2 expeditions went out there to drill into the mid-ocean ridge of the Atlantic, because seismologists were telling us that the mantle was pretty close to the surface, because the velocity of seismic energy from pardon me, my throat's giving out on me, from the exploration that the seismologists had done before the cruise suggested that there was a velocity of 8 kilometers per second in the rocks, and that's, by definition, that's the mantle.
Yeah, and it's a serpentinite carbonate hydrothermal field. It's massive, in fact. It's so far the only really big carbonate field that's been found. It's called the Atlantic Massif.
Yep, that's good. That's good.
The Atlantic Massif actually is just a big chunk of seafloor. The Lost City is forming on the south edge of it. What we are looking at here is a piece of chimney material that got broken up. Now, who broke that up? That's the question.
It kind of looks like chalk.
It looks like chalk, that's true. And we're zooming in on a tiny little critter.
Is that a copepod? Copepod, maybe?
That's what... Oops, it can move quick.
That's okay. That's all right, we can... There he is. Wow. Where'd he go?
Hold that. Yeah, I don't see him.
Yeah, that's a copepod.
All right, come on out. I gotta push ahead.
Sure. Go for it.
I'm tilted up a lot farther.
So there might be something down here that eats that.
It'd be nice if I was farther out, in case...
If we want to stop and pick something up, it really helps if he's well out ahead.
You know what I would like to do is follow this line of white stuff to see what this lump is that we are coming to.
Different. That's what it is.
I can't tell in Sirius I can't tell in the Sirius whether this is just a well-defined
feature. This is quite different now, right?
Yeah, this looks like a bunch of coarser talus. Yeah.
Would it be loose or would it be consolidated?
This stuff looks loose.
Yeah.
And it's got white carbonate in it.
Jeff Drazen, is this something that you expected to find based on your exploration of other areas?
Yeah, you could...
No, this is definitely not something I expected to see. Patty, what would create effectively a pile of gravel and rock like this?
Well, that's what I'm wondering, Jeff. I'm looking at the Sirius image and trying to figure out.
Wow.
That's just.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
That is amazing. And you know what? I don't know what it is. The white stuff in it, I'm sure that's carbonate. I'm just wondering if the darker tan-colored material is also carbonate. I've never seen anything like this. Well, here we are on the Okeanos Explorer.
You like that?
Finding new stuff. Wow. Just the shape of the mound of stuff looks like tongues of debris that have moved not too far away from where they were created. I just wonder if we get up slope, if we're going to see where this comes from.
Hey, come on out.
Yeah, I was just going to ask that, Patty. I mean, we're going towards a very steep slope/wall, aren't we? I wonder if this is tumbled off of that.
30 degrees
yeah,
off.
Absolutely 40, could be.
40 degrees off our track.
Let me push out.
There's real hard return in the sonar directly in front of us.
Tara, I don't know if we can get in touch with Roland, but Bruce is telling us that feed 1 is freezing up a lot. And Scott said, though, at Internet 1, he has experienced no video freezes. So I just wanted to pass along that information to you.
Let's do a quick zoom here video. Very black.
Yeah, it looks like Internet 1 is not a problem. Oh, and the feeds are running fine at the Inner Space Center.
Ooh, a black rock. I love it.
What do you think it is?
I don't know.
What's your wild
know.
guess? If you had to guess,
if I had to guess at this
looks
depth,
like charcoal.
At this depth, it's got to be ultra mafic. It's got to be
what
a
is
piece
it?
of
Ultra what?
Ultra mafic. M-A-F-I-C. Meaning
ultra mafic.
Meaning it's got a lot of iron and magnesium in it, and it's probably a piece of peridotite. It would be a really nice thing to pick up if we want a rock too.
A peridot rock for her birthday.
Something we want to pick up. We have to
no, we don't. No.
Yeah.
Pilot, would we have time to pick this guy up?
We'd have to make a decision right away. Marginal, I would say keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, come on out.
Do we want to? This is Jeff. Do we want to keep moving up slope and try to find the source of what?
Yes.
This slide, or if that's what it is. Maybe it'd be better to sample there.
Maybe.
We could
maybe.
probably do it. You don't have to put it in the drawer before you start moving.
The sample they were talking about following.
Yeah, Pilot. If we could keep going straight up the slope, and because these things look like they're sort of converging.
Okay.
I know that's
Sirius
partly.
Sirius is headed off to the left.
Okay.
So
Sirius is going 180. You're facing about 220. So the 40 degrees off from where we're headed.
We could start heading up slope, and they'd be more in line with anything that's coming down slope.
So that voice you're hearing is Jim Newman. He's multitasking right now. He's dive supervisor, but he's also in the co-pilot chair right now.
Okay.
So you guys talk to them. You can listen to OKE.
Watch these. This is Nav.
Yep, go ahead, Nav.
So you guys want to see the top of this loose gravel stuff?
Yes, please.
Okay, well, we can make some ship changes for that. Might take a minute, but
it's going
to take a little while.
It's going to take a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that, Jim, you want to explain the situation every time we stop so that the participants on shore can understand what's going on?
Sure, because we're so deep and the cable coming down from the ship acts like a big pendulum, every motion of the ship takes a long time to be seen at the bottom. The time constant's on the order of a half hour from the time we make a move at the ship till we